And you're on.
Okay, I am so excited to host our author for this session, Miss Joylynn M. Ross, writing as best-selling author in Joy, is the author behind New Day Divas, Still Divas, Always Divas, and Forever Divas series, all which have been coined soap operas in print. She is an Essence Magazine bestselling author who wrote secular books under Joylynn M. Jossel and Joy's names. Her title, If I Ruled the World, earned her a book blurb from Grammy Award-winning artist Erykah Badu, an all-night man, an anthology she penned with New York Times bestselling author Brenda Jackson, earned the Borders Bestselling African American Romance Award. Her urban fiction title, Dollar Bill, under Triple Crown Publications, appeared in Newsweek and is translated in Japanese. Joy, it's so awesome to meet you. I feel like I've known you forever. The minute that I saw an image of you online holding a Donald Goings book, I said, "This is my soul sister." I cut my teeth reading Donald Goings. I think I was 8 or 9 when I found one of his books, and I think it was at my aunt's house. And by the time my mother realized what was contained behind those covers, I thought she was going to smack all the taste out my mouth. So the minute I saw that picture, you became my soul sister. And we have so much in common. We're both from Ohio.
Yay,
Um,
go back, go
yes.
back.
Woohoo. You currently reside in Vegas, unless you've moved.
The still
And
fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada.
okay, my daughter just relocated to Vegas, and we
Okay.
actually just got a timeshare there, so we can pop in and out as well. Also, you and I both assist other authors. Although I love the way that you said it. You said you from a habit to a hustle, and I like that. I like that. So please tell us a little bit about your writing journey and just what you've enjoyed the most about the process.
Well, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. I'm honored to be here. Pardon the green screen, but the virtual background had me looking like, I was shivering and shaking and carrying on like I had too much coffee. And I'm already one of them people who's on 10 anyway. So, but thank you so much. Yes, my writing journey. Oh my goodness. Over 22 years ago. Yes, that's when I started my professional writing journey. As far as writing, that goes way back to those days of rainy day writings. And y'all remember those journal writings our teachers would have us do in elementary school? So my writing goes way back then, but my professional writing career started when I self-published my first book back in 1998. And self-publishing, yes, self-publishing was not a last resort for me. It was my first option. A lot of people think when we self-publish, it's a last resort. There's so many different paths to publishing. And it depends on what your literary visions and goals are. But I had a story that I wanted to tell. I, want to be in control. I'm a control freak. So I never thought of even turning over my intellectual property to a publishing company until I learned about distribution and wholesaling and retailing and all of that.
Want to change your thought?
Right. But at first, I was okay selling them from the trunk, hustling them at the gas station, reading them on the bus. Look, I had a car. I'm on the bus because I'm reading my book. I'm drawing attention to my work. I got a car at work, but I'm going to get on this bus and use that as a vehicle to advertise my book, literally. And so I started off self-publishing. I've done traditional publishing. I've done POD, print on demand. I've pretty much done everything except for the hybrid publishing route.
Yeah.
I am a hybrid author, which means I've chosen multiple paths to publication. Again, it all depended on what my visions and goals were for that particular project, is what I based which path to publication I was going to take. So ended up getting a book deal, done the traditional publishing thing, served as an agent. I have clients who have book deals with Simon & Schuster, Random House, Urban Books, to name a few. I've done literary consulting, publishing, coaching. So I've pretty much been on every corner of the literary industry map in my over 22 years in the literary industry. And now I'm focusing on helping others write, publish, tell, and sell their stories in excellence. So now I've pretty much put my pen down with my fiction writing. You mentioned I've written under the name BLESSEDselling Author E and JOY. That's my Christian fiction. I started off Joylynn M. Jossel. That was my chick lit, my erotica. I've done Joy, J-O-Y, urban lit, street lit. They're not one and the same. I've done urban lit, I've done street lit. And in period Joy, my children's book, that was published by Just Us Books. So when I say I've been on every corner of the literary industry map, I have. And I paused with the fiction writing. And I put my pen down there so that I can help other authors either pick their pens up or keep their pens in their hands, because this can be a very discouraging journey, not a joyride, but a journey, and one that no one should travel along. So call me the literary chauffeur.
Yes. Now, and I have coined the term book doula for myself, because when people come to me, they've already conceived the thought of writing, just don't understand that process of birthing the writing. And as you have said with what you do, and showing them how to do it with a profit and to not get caught in the landmines of self-publishing. When I started writing, I researched traditional writing, publishing. At the time, it really didn't seem like anything that was, I don't want to say obtainable. It just didn't seem like what I was supposed to do at that time. And so I did take the self-publishing bull by the horns, and I rode that sucker. And until I was able to master it, and now I can show others. From all that you've experienced on all fronts, do you now see that you've had to go through that process with everything to get to the point of being this Harriet Tubman of authorship for other authors?
Wow. Okay. I don't want that title.
It's yours. It's yours.
Oh my goodness. Let me be so transparent in saying that if I had known my journey was not for me, I probably would not have continued it. Okay. Let me just say, when I had a story I had to tell, and I said, you know, self-publishing was not a last resort. It was my first option. I'm a control freak. I like being in control. I like having power over my own intellectual property and my own money. And I kind of wanted to be this famous writer. Okay, so I was writing to become this famous author. And when it was all about me, yes, the journey, it still had bumps, and but definitely I know it had more bumps than it would have had the journey not been about me. So I was all about becoming this famous writer. I was all about making sure that my books had 1 million copies sold. I was all about making sure I sold out of my books after each and every book time. It was just me. You know, it was all about me.
I did it my way.
Yes, exactly. And so, you know, once I realized, wait a minute, I'm in training. I'm in training so that I can help others. It's like, you know, take, for example, you're healed. And now it's your job not to just run around and say, I'm healed, but now it's to help other people get healed. Okay. And so with that journey and all that I endured, I finally realized, wait a minute, I was in training to help others. I always say the greatest aha moment a person can ever have is when their life begins to make sense. So not only did my
Come on.
life begin to make sense, but this entire writing journey began to make
Yes.
sense. I was
Yes.
able to determine, yes, writing is my passion, but my
Yes.
purpose is to help
Come
other
on.
people write and tell their stories,
Yes.
and not necessarily write. We are in this industry where people will tell you the lie, and yes, I
Yes.
said so, and you could tell them Joylynn M.
Yes.
So
Yep.
the lie that you have to love writing to get in this business.
No.
The lie that you have to be able to write to get in this business. The
No.
lie that you have to be passionate about writing if you're going to get
No.
in this business. And the lie, don't get in this business for the money. Let's just go on and start with the money and knock that out of the way. Who goes
Come on.
into business not to make money? Yeah, we can do all of this, my passion, and
Yeah.
I'm here to
Yeah.
serve, and I am here to serve. What I do is a service, and I'm here to serve.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have a family to feed.
Yes.
I have
Yes.
kids. I want to get through college. I don't want them to come out of college with a debt.
That's right. That's right.
So this is a business for me. Yes, writing is a love,
Yes.
a passion, a hobby. It can even be your ministry. Publishing, my friend, is a
It's about the
business.
money.
So,
It's a business.
it's about the money. So there's three different
Yes.
thought processes. There's why you write, why you publish,
Yep.
why you sell. Because I hear
Yes.
people all the time, well, I don't do this for the money. I don't write for the money. I don't write for the money. You may not write for the money, but when you put $14.95 on your book, you
You
are
better.
publishing for the money,
That's
baby. You are
Right.
in business. So if you
Yes.
want to walk around and say, I will do this for free, I will do this for free, blog it and don't charge me $14.95. Hello?
Listen,
Okay,
I
so
tried to sign a check with the word passion, and my bank laughed because it is not my name. Okay.
exactly. And so we have to be honest and truthful with ourselves as authors. And I'm only saying
Right.
this because I lied to myself for years. I lied to myself for years. It sounds good to say, I don't do this for money. Why?
Yeah.
Because I didn't make my advance back become my first
That's right.
traditional publisher. And
That's
so
right.
when I say I didn't do this for the money, it made me
Mhm.
feel good because it feels like a debt.
Yes.
When you sign that book
Sure.
deal and you get that
Sure.
advance and you don't earn it back, I feel like I owe Guido. I'm
Yes.
like, oh, mercy. And so
Yeah.
we
And
say these things and we tell ourselves these things because it makes us feel good. It
Right.
makes you do this
Right.
for the money. But you got to be careful what you tell God in the universe because now you
And
can't be on social media mad.
exactly. And that leads me to, and it's a quote, and let me tell you, I had to write this one down. I love it. I love it. I love it. I have a similar one though. Mine says, feed your vision until your vision feeds you. And that let me know that there's going to be some investment on my side. I started with children's books, and the investment in that just for illustrations alone, you're averaging 4,000 to 10,000 per book if you're doing it well. And mama can't pull a corner like she used to. But I love your quote, and I'm reading this because I had to type it out. It says, "I'm not some serious businesswoman, but I am a woman serious about my business." And you've already answered the question that I was going to ask, in that people lie to themselves as a way of appeasing what they know should be true, hoping that if they say it enough themselves that they'll believe it. Because none of us believe when you walk up saying this is what you do and you don't do it for money, especially if it's a creative industry where it becomes your passion.
Yes.
Therefore, you're not doing something else that's generating income. So somebody's paying your bills. Somebody is paying your bills. It's not like you like everybody love Chris, our mom, who say my man got 2 jobs. Well, my man got 3 jobs, and he still tell me I better sell him books. Now, I do want to, before our time is up, because I really want to just highlight this, because both our energy is so amazing, and people hear that and it's like, oh yes, even in difficulties you're going to do this thing, and if you don't, we're going to teach y'all how to do it. And yes, but it was something that I saw on your website, and I want to talk just for a few seconds about regret, or not necessarily regret, but refueling, if you will. I appreciate that you said you hate is a strong word, but you are mindful of missed opportunities that you had when two blurbs came. One was from Erykah Badu, and she said of your book, it's the best urban tale since the coldest winter ever. And also, Mixmaster Ice, who is the legendary DJ, Hip Hop Hall of Fame, said of your book, finally, a tale about truly surviving the streets. If I Ruled the World is the epitome of hip hop fiction. And you were truthful to say that you didn't capitalize on those two blurbs the way that you could have. Do you feel that that's what drives what you do with others and helping them to see those opportunities and to seize? It's one thing to see it, you knew that they were there, but the
Mhm.
seizing of that opportunity, do you see that that's part of your drive right now?
I know it's part of my drive right now. I've wasted enough time and made enough mistakes for everyone doing it
Mm,
and who will choose to do so. I can sit and tell you everything to do. That's process and that's
mhm.
Googleable.
Yes,
But
come on.
where the authors benefit the most is from the truth of everything you did wrong. I always say the most successful people in the world they do everything right
Mm,
after doing everything wrong. And
yes.
so I point out those things prayerfully so that others will not make those same mistakes. And I took your little hint. You said a few seconds because I know I can go on and on and on. Blossom's best friend six from back in the day. I just told my age because I know I'll be on the clock and I know Lisa will shut you down. So I'll be like,
Lisa will shut both of us down. Did you see how fast she was ready to cut me off? My dog been quiet since 3 this morning, and she decided to bark when my microphone go on. Lisa, like, another tribe member gonna step up in here. I warned y'all. I warned
You got
y'all.
the memo.
I'm
You got the
obedient. I'm
memo,
listening. That was my
Florenza.
few seconds. I'm done.
So, in terms of literature, do you have you decided that you might pick up the pen again, if you will, to create a book, or what is life doing for you right now?
I, I know I want to, but I realized again, everything is about my assignments. And when I
Hmm.
put my pen
Hmm.
down to help other people pick theirs up or keep theirs in their hand, God let me know. He said, your success will be
Mm.
based upon the success of the people you help win. And I'm like,
Yeah,
can you repeat that again? Because some folk lazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And they're not going to do
yeah,
the work that it takes to win. Okay,
yes,
look at LeBron James. Look at all the teams he's played for. He has played his heart out in some of those games.
yeah,
He has broken records in some of those games,
yes,
but the team still lost. So, God, you
yep,
telling me now we're all on the same team, and if they don't win, I don't win. So it definitely drives me. I am so
yes,
transparent, and I will tell you the mistakes I made, the money I
yeah,
lost, the money I didn't make back from these publishing deals. I'm going to tell you the truth because
yeah,
once we get through all the lies into the truth, now we can get to moving. Now we can get to winning. Now we can get to
yes.
those true layers of why we're all in this and doing this.
Hmm. Hmm. That is so powerful, and it's so amazing that you have that determination, because there are so many people who may have had missteps or may have had the successes and don't think enough to reach back, or don't care enough to reach back. And I appreciate that you said you've recognized that this is your calling, your passion, your mission. um, and with that, sometimes we assist people whose books go on much further than our reach, and you have to have that self satisfaction of knowing you played the part that you were supposed to in them getting there. Has there been, in our final, and then I'll ask where we can follow you, has there been any point that you've looked back and you've not yet found that comfort, and knowing that it was part of the process? Is there anything that you've not yet resolved in Joy's spirit about your journey towards authorship?
Clarify that a little bit more because I want to make sure I answer this question properly.
Okay, so have you looked back and maybe saw a misstep or a success, and it still sits out by itself that you've not yet identified it as being part of the process?
Okay. Probably both missteps and success. I believe in celebrating every benchmark. We have to set our goals,
Yeah.
not just in writing as authors, but with anything, because how do we know if we've reached that measure of success if we have not set one? And
Mm,
so you have to know what those goals are, and you have to celebrate every personal benchmark, every measure of success you achieve. But at the same time, you can't get comfortable with it. And so with
right.
me, it's often a double-edged sword. I'm usually in Kobe Bryant mode, even with my clients that I work with. Yay, you made the bestsellers list. Yay, you're #1 on Amazon. Yay, this, yay, that. Now
Yeah.
what? What's next? You celebrated this. Let's keep this moving.
Come on.
So I'm a person you'll never hear me say I've arrived, because I've got too many places to go. And I don't want to get complacent, comfortable,
Right.
content. A lot of times we can disguise them and use those interchangeably, but
Mm,
I never want to be complacent. I never want to get comfortable, and I never want to use content as an excuse for being
right.
complacent and comfortable.
Yes.
Like a lot of us use COVID as an excuse to just be lazy. And
Yeah.
I'll just be 100. In the beginning, I was
Yeah.
using COVID as reasons to be lazy, and out of fear of both failing and succeeding. Again, that's a double-edged sword. Some of us are
Mhm.
afraid to fail. That's why we lie to ourselves. And some of us are afraid to succeed. But
Most are afraid to succeed.
yes, because there's work. There's work in
Oh,
being
come on. You got to maintain it.
yes, there is work. I always say, faith will get you, faith will get you a good distance. But in order to reach your dreams, visions, and goals, it's still going to take hard work and some
Yes.
money.
Yeah. Yeah. That investment part, you got to reap, you got to sow and then reap.
Yeah, you
So,
have to be your
where,
first investor. You have to be your first
yes,
investor. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, why should others be willing to invest in you and your book?
absolutely. Absolutely. And we forget that, especially in an industry where people have to pay money to gain access to what it is that we are creating. Oftentimes, as indie authors, myself, I'll come across someone and they will say, especially once they hear that you do write, oh, I wrote a book, and they sell them in their trunk. Listen, I sold 10,000 copies of my book even before I realized that KDP had a print on demand. I printed in China and was doing a serious hustle. I come from old school hustlers. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? You know what I'm saying? I can't write about my people because you know what I'm saying. They love Jesus now, but they ain't always love Jesus. That's all I'm gonna say. And oops. And then they want to say, this is what's created, but the work hasn't gone in for editing, for cover design. Not everybody can, afford J.L. Wilson. That boy is good. But we can do the best that we can with what we have. Do you find that because of the market for self-publishing now, that the authors who are coming to you are coming to you more prepared, or in that COVID mindset of doing just enough to get by?
Pre-COVID, I believe we were conditioned by a lot of life coaches to think that good enough was good enough.
Mm,
But to me, mediocrity is the enemy of excellence. Okay.
absolutely.
And your good enough is not good enough if it can be better. And
Right.
if your better is not your best, it's not good enough. So
Yes.
we have to get out of that mindset like this is good enough and I got to do it now. Or if I don't
Yeah.
do it now and I don't put it out there mediocre or good enough, then I'm never going to do it. And we're being conditioned to believe that. And
Yeah.
that's totally, totally false. We have to make sure we are not only investing our money, but the time so that we are
Yes.
putting out a quality piece of work. So it's pre-COVID. This was pre-COVID that authors would come ready to do their good enough. Well, I really can't afford an editor. Well, then you can't afford to publish.
Right. Come
Pretend
on.
like you're sitting on Oprah's couch and you
Yeah.
are telling this story once and you are not taking questions afterward. You want it to be your best work. You want it to be
Right.
excellent. And so we get eager, we get anxious, and we want to put these words and our stories and our testimonies out there. But do it in excellence. Whose time frame are you on anyway? Whose time frame are you on? What is the rush? Wait a minute. You can't afford an editor, but you already have the book launch party plan and invitations customized, mailed out, balloons, art, cake. Come on now.
Come on. I've said people have become more content to see their name on the cover of a book than what is contained within the book. And we've got to get out. Lisa, Nalina Kai, how much time do I have before we get to preaching? Because I feel my help coming on. Break in and tell us.
You have 2 minutes.
Is it time to fry the chicken? Okay. Please let us know. Please let us know, Joy, where we may find you, follow you, learn about your workshops, etc.
You can find me at my publishing website, well, my company website, Path to Publishing, www.path2publishing.com. That's TO, not the numeral, www.path2publishing.com. And for that novice, author or reader who's thinking about telling a story, or even an author who may already have work out there and want to say, hey, did I miss any steps of this process? Because missing a step can cost you money, and cost you to lose money. So you can find me, your literary chauffeur, to teach you about the business side of writing and publishing at www.joylynmross.com. I'm on social media wearing my literary consultant and publishing coach hat as Joylynn M. Ross, my blessed-selling author E. Enjoy hat as E. Enjoy.
Thank you, sis, so much. I feel like I already know you. We're going to have to carry this on afterwards. Get some of that Ohio thing going. I appreciate you so much for sharing your passion, your gift, and not just keeping it with you, but being that. I love that. You have to capitalize on that Harriet Tubman, the publishing.
Okay, we're going to talk about that, those royalties I'm going to have to give you on that trademark and trade name. But yeah, we talk about
It's all yours. It's all yours. It's all yours.
Thank you, because when this is recording, I don't want you coming back when I turn it into real money talking about, I gave you that. I'm going to be like Tina Turner. I earned the name. I worked for the name. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. We are going to move into our next segment. Hold on for a second. And I have Kelly. Where did Kelly go? There's Kelly.
I'm here. I'm here.
Kelly. So I'm going to be shifting some things around really quickly to get things started and do a little housekeeping. We thank Florenza for that wonderful I think I put the right two people together. Their energy is like, I don't think I could stand being in the room with them for long periods of time, because they are like spitfire. So thank you, Joy, for being with us, and we will talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye now. All righty then, and we have the fabulous, the wonderful Sylvia Day is in the house.